Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel English and Beyond. I am CJ Roy and in today's class we will learn future perfect tense. And in future perfect tense we will learn first how to frame sentences or rather statements, both affirmative and negative statements. So without wasting any time, let's get started with today's topic, future perfect tense. Future perfect affirmative statements, how to make. Okay. First thing I explained when I taught you simple future tense. The futurity is always shown by the modal auxiliary will or shall. So we normally use will. So in all future tenses, we will have this will or shall. So if you take the first person singular I, the next one will be will or shall. Anyone. So we normally, as I said, we use today's English. We tend to use will more than shall. So I will. And then one more auxiliary verb after will we have to use in future perfect. In the future continuous tense also we used will plus be with ing form main verb. But here subject plus will plus have. This applies to all the subjects, all persons, singular, plural, first person, second person, third person, irrespective of all these things, we use will plus have. And then this is the perfect tense. So in the perfect tense, as I told you earlier, we always use the V3 form of the main verb. So our example verb is write. So the V3 form, past participle form is written. So how it will read? It will be, I will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. I will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. Now let me tell you, I always explain the use of each tense at the end in a separate video, but here I just would like to tell you here, future perfect tense, we speak about an action which will complete, which will be perfected in the future at a certain time. I hope you understood what I said. I said an action which will be completed, perfected in the future. That's why it is called future perfect tense. The action is completed, perfected in the future at a specified time. So in our example here, I have given here, I will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. That means, have I finished now? No. Have I started? Maybe. Or else I will start now. Or else I will start after some time in the future. Then I will complete by 10 a.m. today. It's clear? I hope so. Second one, if you use similar, you will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. She, he, it will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. We will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. They will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today. So you can go on making. I will have completed my homework by 8 p.m. today. That means I haven't completed now. Perhaps I have already started, or else I am starting right now, or else I may start after some time in the future, but I will complete by a specified time, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, next week, next month, next year, whatever. I hope you understood now when actually we use future perfect tense. Something completed or perfected in the future. But before we go, when we use, I want you to understand the structure, the format of this tense. What is the format? Subject plus will plus have plus V3 form. I will have eaten, you will have eaten, my father will have eaten, the students will have finished, the teacher will have completed. So you can go on writing this. Okay. Clear. Now let's go to framing the negative statements in the future perfect tense. The pattern that I always tell you about remains the same. Negatives, by now you are clear. I'm 100% sure that you know where exactly you have to place that negative word that is not here. I already told you in the past that in some tenses we have just only one auxiliary. So immediately after that auxiliary. In some tenses, like a future continuous, we learned will plus be. We have two. But we have to consider for making questions and for making negatives, we only have to take the first auxiliary, that is will here. Now, interestingly, in this future perfect tense also we have two auxiliary verbs, and they are will plus have. So where will you put the not? We will put the not immediately after the first auxiliary. And which is the first auxiliary? The first auxiliary is will. So it will be I will not have written a letter. I will not have written a letter. Or else I won't have written a letter. Will plus not is won't. Similarly, you will not have written a letter by 10 p.m. or else you won't have written a letter by 10 p.m. Coming to third person singulars, he, she, it. He will not have written, he won't have written, she will not have written, she won't have written, it will not have written, it won't have written a letter by 10 p.m. Same. If you know one, all the other sentences, no change. Next one, first person plural. We will not have written a letter, but we won't have. They will not have written a letter, they won't have. It's so easy once you know the pattern, right? So today we learned how to frame, how to make a statement in the future perfect tense, an action which will be completed at some time in the future. How to make an affirmative statement, and also how to make a negative statement. Well, that's all for today's lesson. And if you found this session useful, please like, subscribe to our channel English and Beyond. Until we meet again in the next video, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep growing with English and Beyond. Thank you for watching today's video. See you in the next one. Until then, take care. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel English and Beyond. I'm CJ Roy, and in today's class we will learn future perfect tense. How to make questions in the future perfect tense. Questions that are both affirmative and negative. So let's get started with today's lesson without wasting any time. Questions, as we know, follows the same pattern that we have been following in the previous videos that I explained. It remains the same here. You need to put the auxiliary verb first, then subject, then the remaining things. But future perfect tense, we have two auxiliary verbs here, but the first auxiliary is always going to be will or shall. So take the will and put it first, and then the subject. So I will have written a letter. I will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today will change into will I have written a letter? Simple enough. You will have written a letter by 10 p.m. today was the statement. Now we convert it to you will have. You will have. Will and have auxiliary, but we take the first auxiliary, which is will. So will I have written? Will I have written a letter by 10 p.m. today? Next is he, she, it will have written. Will he have written? Will she have written? Will it have written a letter by 10 p.m. today? That's a question. We follow the same pattern. I'm sure by now you are set and you know exactly what's going to come. So here next one, first person plural, that is we. If you say we will have written a letter, now that changes to will we have written a letter? Will we have written a letter by 10 p.m. today? And the last one, they will have written a letter. That's a statement. Its question will be, yes. What will be the question? They will have written a letter. will they have written a letter by 10 p.m. today? So that is simple enough. Now let's go to find out how to make negative questions here. Let's find out. Negative questions. So I will not have written a letter by 10 p.m. today becomes I will not have written. Will I not have written? So the not comes immediately after will. So I will not have written. So I will. Will I not have written a letter? Or else won't I have written a letter by 10 p.m. today? Similarly, you will not have written a letter is a negative statement. Its question will be, will you not have written, or else won't you have written a letter by 10 p.m. today? Third person, singulars, he, she, it will not have written a letter by 10 p.m. will changes into will he not have written a letter by 10 p.m.? Will she not have written a letter by 10 p.m.? Will it not have written a letter by 10 p.m.? Or else won't he have written a letter? Won't she have written a letter? Won't it have written a letter? Questions are framed that way. And the next one, first person plural, we will not have written a letter by 10 p.m. changes into we will not, will we not, or won't we have written a letter? Next one, the last one, that is the third person plural, they will not have written a letter. It will change into they will not becomes will they not, they will not, will they not, will they not have written a letter, or won't they have written a letter? I'm sure you are clear about this one. You may have some hesitation in the beginning here, but I'm sure that now you know the steps to follow, the things that you need to be careful about, and you are aware, even if you make a mistake, you are aware that you have made a mistake, and you will be able to always correct yourself here. So please do go through these things once again if you have not understood, and make sure that you know where we place the subject, the verb, the negative word, the auxiliary verb, the main verb, both in the statements, in the negative statements, and questions and negative questions. Well, that brings us to the end of our class today. And if you found this session very helpful, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel English and Beyond. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so you will never miss our next English class. Until we meet again in the next video, keep learning, keep practicing, keep growing with English and Beyond. Thank you for watching. Take care. Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel English and Beyond. I am CJ Roy, and in today's class we will complete learning future perfect tense. Today we are especially going to see when, where, and why at all we use future perfect tense. So without wasting any time, let's get started with today's topic. So when do we use future perfect? To express an action that will be completed before a specific time in the future. When I started with the statements, I explained this already. This is the main purpose of or use of using future perfect. An action, to express an action that will be completed in the future before a specific time in the future. For example, by next year, that is a future date, she will have completed a master's degree. Perhaps she is already doing a master's degree currently, and she will have completed. The completion will take place by next year. Next one, by 10 p.m. they will have finished their work. Yes, future time, 10 p.m. Now they have not finished. So they will have finished their work by 10 p.m. By the time you arrive, we will have cleaned the house. So it's a future time. By the time you arrive, we will have cleaned the house. So when you reach home, whatever time you come in the future, you will see the house is all cleaned up properly. So by the time you arrive, we will have cleaned. So don't worry. By the time you arrive in the evening, the house will have been cleaned. Okay. And the last one, he will have written the report before the deadline. Means he has not written now. Maybe he is writing, but not completed. But before the deadline, 100%. It's a certain he would complete before the deadline. So we will say make sentences in the future perfect. He will have written the report before the deadline. Now, let's see the other things. To express an action that will be completed before another future action. Same thing but one is before a deadline, before a specific time, or before, in the second one here, before another future action. So, before she leaves, we will have packed her bags. So before she leaves is the present tense, simple present tense. So in the simple present tense, we are using the first clause here. So that is a subordinate clause. Before she leaves, we will have packed her bags. What does that mean? Now her bag is not packed, but by the time she leaves at a later time in the future, we will have packed her bags. Bag would be ready. That's the meaning. Next, by the time you wake up, I will have cooked breakfast. You sleep now. No issue. Don't worry about breakfast. You sleep. By the time you wake up from your sleep, the breakfast would be ready there. So I will have cooked breakfast. Before the match starts, the players will have warmed up. So now they are not warmed up. But before the match starts, by the time the match starts, have warmed up. Next one, by the time the guests arrive, we will have decorated the hall. Now the hall is not decorated. But don't worry, by the time the guests arrive, we will have decorated the hall. Next, to talk about an action that will continue up to a certain point in the future. Talk about an action that will continue up to a certain point in the future. Again, it's a certain point in the future. For example, by 2030, scientists will have made major discoveries in space. Now it is 2025. Now, after 5 years, that is in 2030, scientists will have will have made major discoveries. So they are making, but they have not made such major discoveries. But by 2030, they will have made. Next, in 2 years, she will have worked here for a decade. Decade means 10 years. 1 decade is equal to 10 years. So in 2 years, she will have worked here for a decade. That means how many years she has worked now? 8 years. 2 more years, 8 plus 2, 10 years. So in 2 years, she will have worked here for a decade, for 10 years. Next one, by next month, we will have lived in the city for 5 years. By next month, we will have lived in the city for 5 years. We have been living here, but one more month for us to complete that 5-year mark or period there. So by next month, we will have lived in the city. And the last one, by December, we will have completed his training. So it is not December yet, maybe November, October, September, whatever. By December, we will have completed his training. The last point, when we use to show expectations or assumptions about the future. We assume certain things about future. To express that, to show that, we use future perfect tense. For example, they will have reached home by now. So we are here. Our friends have gone. Maybe one of us is worried whether they have reached or not. So I tell them, don't worry. They will have reached home by now. It is highly possible. We just assume that it's time for them to reach home. So they will have reached home by now. Next, she will have finished her assignment already. Now we're assuming she will have finished already. So that is a specific usage here of the future perfect tense. He will have completed the book by tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's very clear. Tomorrow is, of course, is a future. Future. It indicates future. So tomorrow by this time, maybe he will have completed. The guests will have left by the time we arrive. So we are not arrived. By the time we arrive, sometime later, by that time, the guests will have left. We are already late. We will not be able to meet our guests because we are late. So by the time we arrive there, the guests will have already left. So third and fourth examples are easy to understand. First and two, you just think about it a little bit about, then you will understand the meaning. They will have reached home by now. We assume this one. By now, so we are not 100% sure, but we just expect them to reach by now. And she will have finished her assignment already. So we are asking somebody, will she be able to join us for the picnic? Because she has a lot of assignment. Then someone says, she will have finished her assignment by already. I assume that she will have finished. So there is every chance that she will have finished her assignment. I hope it's clear. All right, then let's wind up future perfect tense with a few exercises here. Let's start doing this one. So let's see how this is all working out. So here we are. By this time next year, she dash her PhD complete. Can you complete the sentence with the verb complete? By this time next year, she dash her PhD. She will have completed her PhD. And second one, we dash our project before the deadline. Finish. We, future. So will, perfect. So have, we will have, V3 form. Finished. We will have finished our project before time. Third one, by the time you wake up, I dash breakfast prepared. By the time you wake up, I will have, verb is prepare. V3 form prepare. I will have prepared. Fourth one, he dash at the airport by 5 p.m. Not arrive. Not arrive. It's a negative word. Arrive, arrived, arrived. So he will not. Not will come immediately after will. So he will not have arrived. He will not have arrived at the airport by 5 p.m. Next one, by next summer they dash a new shopping mall. Build. By next summer they will have built. Build, built, built. V3 form. They will have built a new shopping mall. Sixth one, the train dash before we reach the station. Leave. The train will have left. Okay. By 2026, scientists dash new medicines for cancer. Scientists will have developed. Developed is the one here. I did not write that. Developed. Yes. Now I'm sure it's very clear to you how this is all being worked out here. Future perfect tense and how we use future perfect. Very useful tense. We may not ask so much of questions in future perfect tense, but I taught you that as well so that you will know exactly how questions are framed in each tense. I just want to at least make myself sure and convinced that you people understand the structure of tense, each tense, how they are framed, how to use or which form of the verb is used in different tenses correctly. I just want you to be sure of that as well. That's why I give a lot of emphasis, a lot of importance to our tenses, right? I hope now this has been a useful exercises for you, how the tenses work. how the verbs work in each tenses. Okay, then if you found this session helpful for you, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel English and Beyond. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so that you will never miss our next English lesson. Until we meet again in the next video, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep growing with English and Beyond. See you in the next video. Take care.